All right, it's week 7. I know the semester's kind of winding down, so we've got our third exam this week. It's going to be open because I know spring break kind of threw off our schedule a little bit. So some of you, I know a lot of you did a bunch of work during spring break and you're probably ready to take this test as soon as possible. Some of you, if you took your spring break and just didn't do anything, which is fine. That's what I did. Then I'm giving you a little extra time than normal to take this exam. Exam 3 is going to be open Monday through Wednesday. All right, so usually it's just 2 days. I'm giving you that third day this time. So just make sure you take that as soon as possible, but you've got until Wednesday, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. Why, if you're ready, I would go ahead and take it on Monday or Tuesday. Okay. This one was on chordates through primate evolution. So we talked about chordates and then vertebrates. That's where we talked about like fish and amphibians and reptiles and birds and mammals. That primate evolution was the shorter chapter where we talked about human ancestors and things like that. So all of that is going to be on exam 3. About 70 questions. You'll have 70 minutes. Again, 20 minutes I'm going to say is like maybe the average, probably less than that. So don't let that time limit scare you. You got plenty of time to do this. I keep stressing it. I've still had some issues that I've had to deal with. So make sure you are following the instructions on the environment video. Show your desk or table surface beforehand. Quick 360 of your surroundings. And after you're done with that video, it keeps recording you. Do not add anything to your environment. Don't start doing this thing around. When someone's trying to sneak something, it's like the most awkward looking thing in the world. So just have everything ready before you sit down to do the environment video. Record your video, go straight into the test. So that's early in the week. After that, we've got a fungi lecture. Now, let me just give you a heads up. The fungi chapter is probably not any longer than any of the other lectures. It's dense. There's a lot of information packed in there because we're shifting from animals, which we've spent like 3 whole exams talking about, to fungi. Now, the good news about fungi is we're done with it in 1 lecture, but there's a lot of material that's packed in there. So I want you to be really, really careful when you're taking notes on this, all right? I'm going to tell you a lot of root words, and I know that those are not fun, like to break down. This is what this prefix means. But if you'll do that, it makes it a lot easier to kind of makes it a lot easier to understand some of the names we're going to look at, and you'll learn it a lot better that way, okay? So you need to watch the fungi lecture video. Your fungi review quiz is due on Sunday, the 18th. And then you've got a discussion board from the exam, from the vertebrates, that's also due on the 18th. This one, it's more interesting than some of them. So what I did was I made several different quick videos for you to watch. And I made a discussion board for each of those videos. You've got one for fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. And you can watch all of them. They're not long and they're really interesting. But what I would do, what you have to do, is leave a post on at least 2 of those threads. All right, so watch at least minimum 2 of those videos and leave a post with a summary or something you found interesting. And then, so that's this discussion board. It's a little different than what we've done before. All right. Lastly, so here's the great news is that we are done with dissections in this class. Now, after last week, I know you're happy to hear that. So we have a lab this week, but this one is on fungi. Now, here's the thing. Science Interactive, the lab kit that you bought, it did not include a fungi lab, but we need to cover it. So what I've done is I've taken the version of the lab that we do in person, like in my traditional classes. What we would do in here is we would have a bunch of pictures, and you would have to label the different structures. And then I'd have some specimens, like you see everything behind me right here are the specimens we use in our 104 labs. So what I would do is we would pass around different fungi and things like that to look out. Obviously we can't do that. But what you're going to do, and I've got a whole other video that shows you how to do this. You've got an intro section where you're going to answer some review questions. And then you've got a list of a bunch of different pictures of fungi. What you need to do is there's another PowerPoint that has those same pictures, but they're labeled. And you just have to type in and tell me this is what this structure is. You're going to name the structures. And there's a guide that tells you how to do that. All right? Like I said, it's not dissection. I think it's a lot shorter than most of the other labs, so that's the other good news. So a lot of stuff, but none of it's really, really long, but just make sure you don't forget any of it. So test is the big thing. Do that early in the week if possible. Fungi lecture, fungi review quiz, discussion board, and then the fungi lab. All right, so last one, and this is a big one. This Thursday, the 15th, is the last day to withdraw. Honestly, I'm they don't ask me these rules, but this is kind of a disadvantage for the mini classes because we're over halfway through with this semester. But this is also the withdrawal date for like full term spring classes. So if you're taking any class this spring, this Thursday is the deadline to withdraw. The thing is, because our semester is a lot shorter, we've got the same date to withdraw. So you've got a lot more points left when you have to make this decision. All right, I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but all this means is that by Thursday, if you are going to withdraw from this class, you have to do that by Thursday. And that's true for all of the spring semester classes. Most of you are in really good shape. So if you are, just ignore this. Don't worry about it. But what I want everyone to do is check your average. Like, go ahead right now and see what your average is. Or you can wait until after you take the test, exam 3. See what your average is. And if you are failing, I want you to contact me and ask, what's it going to take? Is it possible for me to bring my grade up to passing? What scores am I going to have to make to finish with whatever letter grade you're shooting for? All right. Even if you're not failing, but like if you know I have to have a C for this class to transfer somewhere, or like if you're really shooting for an A or a B and you've got to have that for some reason, if you'll send me a message, it'll take like less than a minute. I can let you know this is the score that you're going to have to make from here on out to finish with whatever letter grade you're shooting for. All right. So just let me know if you've got any questions about that. Don't wait, because after Thursday, if you're still in the class after Thursday, then you can't withdraw. You have to stay in. Whatever grade you finish up with is what I'll report at the end of the semester. All right. So that's it. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.